Welcome, Climate Viewers. This is Jim Lee from ClimateViewer News at ClimateViewer.com, ClimateViewer.org, and WeatherModificationHistory.com. Welcome to 2021. Been kind of crazy. And we're not going to focus on any of the craziness today. I had planned on possibly making a video about the Capitol siege or the Great Reset. And, I decided let's just focus on the positive and talk about some of the new changes coming to Climate Viewer, to this channel, to the websites, to the chat, and really just kind of flesh out what the future holds. Because I think that people are in a real negative space. People are very divided, and I'm going to do me. And I got to stay true to myself. So I plan on focusing on that instead of focusing on all the negativity and division. What's up, Paris, Joseph, Schlip Dog. I like that name. So I just wanted to go ahead and tell you guys that I've already honored my first promise I made in the last video. I have made every single video on this channel on YouTube. If you search me out on YouTube, it's Jim Lee Climate Viewer. You can see the link right there. Welcome, Oregon Sunshine. If you guys come to my YouTube channel, we've all heard about the social media censorship going on, and it's a great concern to me. Obviously, I've been doing this for 12, almost 13 years now. And every day there's always that, looming chance that my channel could be deleted, all my work erased, my social medias could be deleted. So in order to kind of alleviate some of that concern, and maybe some of you can help out with that, I have made every single video I've ever created on YouTube Creative Commons, NonCommercial 4.0 International. So let's just real quickly go over what that means, because some of you may not be familiar with these sorts of licenses. So I'll just bring that up real quick. Sans my face. So what you're going to see now, I'm going to put this in the details just to make it absolutely clear to everybody. This is already on every article on ClimateViewer.com, all of the maps on ClimateViewer.org, and the posts on the timeline on WeatherModificationHistory.com, because I do this to get information out. I do this for the purpose of sharing this information and making it as widely available as possible. But I've been shadow banned, before shadow banning was cool. So, when you talk about things like NSA facilities, and if you ever mention the CIA, you're definitely going to get shadow banned. And I've been there a long time. So that being said, every video from this point forward, and all of the videos, I just got finished doing it. This is close to 380 videos are now Creative Commons, which means that you're able to download them and do whatever you like with them in this framework. So this video by Jim Lee, Climate Viewer, is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike 4.0 International license. Now, you can look that up if you want to read all the details. But, here, the short version is also included. Based on the work at ClimateViewer.com, you're free to share, copy, and redistribute the material in any medium or format. So share it, copy it, redistribute it in any medium or format. Whether you take the video out and make it audio and put it on a podcast, or upload it to iTunes or your SoundCloud or whatever. Adapt. You can remix, transform, or build upon the material. You can take parts of the video and use it in a documentary or whatever you would like to do with it. So you can, turn it into your own unique thing. However, under the following terms: attribution, you must give appropriate credit, provide a link to this video, and indicate if changes were made. So all I ask in return is that if you take one of my videos and you say upload it to BitChute or another medium that's going to, keep it there forever. If you want to mirror my entire channel, at least give a link back to each original video. I think that's fair. And it also helps out this channel. So that's part of the share alike portion of a Creative Commons license. Non-commercial, you may not use the material for commercial purposes without express permission in writing. Meaning, you can take anything I've ever created, including all 380 videos, 400 plus articles on ClimateViewer.com, 660 plus maps on ClimateViewer.org, and over 200 timeline entries, including the 845 newspaper article images on weathermodificationhistory.com. And you can use all of this information in any way as long as you give credit to the creators. As Oregon just pointed out, that's the way it should go. And if you're going to sell it, like if you're going to put it in a DVD and sell it, you need to get that in writing from me, because, I'm not profiting off this. I do make a little bit of change. Literally, my ad revenue this month is $30. If you think that's, doing more than buying my family a lunch, then obviously you don't live in America. But the point being, I want people to use this information. I want it to live on for a long time. I don't want it to be deleted overnight in this great purge that's clearly going on social media. I want to get past the great firewall of America, which is the Silicon Valley technocrats. And the only way for that to happen is for you guys to share it. So share alike. If you remix, transform, or build upon the material, you must distribute your contributions under the same license as the original. Meaning, if you take any of my videos, my articles, my timeline entries, or my maps, and then you put them somewhere else, you too are legally required to make them Creative Commons also. That means that you can't then claim it as your own. You have to continue the chain of sharing and share alike. So there are other licenses out there. There are many ways I could have done this, but I certainly want to be able to, continue to spread this information, get it past the borders of the current social media norms. I don't have 24 hours a day to go and do a live stream, then download, record a local copy as well, and then upload it to multiple sources. That's why I'm using Restream like I'm doing. Right now we're streaming live to YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook, and Twitter's Periscope. And, it's negligible. There are very few people watching it on Twitch or Periscope, but, the majority of people are watching it on YouTube, then Facebook, then DLive. And of course, I expect that to grow over time, especially with the fact that I intend on making more regular content. What I do intend on doing is having a Sunday chat. And really having that chat open to conversation. So in order to make that happen, one of the big things I'm going to be changing is that I would like to get people more involved in our Discord chat, because our Discord chat has voice chat. So what you'll be able to do is if you join the chat, and that's easily accomplished by going to ClimateViewer.com. There's a link in the description of every YouTube video I make, and should be on all the other social medias that allow descriptions. But you'll see an invite link to Discord. If you cannot find it, you can always go to ClimateViewer.com, and you'll find that right over here. Right up here in the top corner, it'll say chat. Just click chat, and that will kick you over to the Climate Viewer chat. If you don't have Discord already, you can literally log in pretty much anonymously. And you can see right now there's 20 members in the chat currently and 532 members total. But in addition to that, if you support me, with a monthly donation on Patreon, you do get a specific role, special roles in the Discord chat. You will notice those people who are monthly donors, they get special, treatment over on the Discord chat. But regardless, I do want to get more people involved in the chat, because in the chat room, you have the ability to actually go into the voice channels. So hopefully in the near future, if we don't use like a call-in show, and I would love to just do a straight up call-in show. What's up to the new guys? Swampy McGee, Stone Lee, my brother from another mother up in Canada, Marcus, Tempest, Aurelius. Yeah, smash that like button. It does matter. The like versus dislike ratio. I've been very lucky that I have had almost always, it's never dropped below 90% likes versus dislikes. And my average video is 99% likes versus dislikes. So, to the people who have been able to watch my videos over the years, they've generally been well received. Of course, occasionally I go and do something stupid like make a video called Flat Earth is Full Retard. And the trolls come out, swinging hard with the double-edged axes. But confrontation is my style, and I, try to be less confrontational nowadays, but every now and then you just got to, you know what I mean? You just got to go hard, because you either go hard or you go home. And I'm in my home, but I always go hard. I think you guys know that by now. So that being said, please join the Discord, because in the near future, I hope to have this Sunday Soapbox, where we have an open discussion with, the community, where people can call in and ask questions, because, it's great for, I've done 12 years of monologuing, and my favorite conversations have always been when I go on somebody's radio show and callers, call in. I'll go on Clyde Lewis with, his show, or, several other shows. And they're like, do you want to take calls? And I'm like, as soon as possible, because, I never know what the people are going to ask. And it's always great to have that immediate response, like that straight from my gut, unfiltered. This is how I feel about a certain thing. And I feel that benefits people a lot more than me just sitting here monologuing, because I may not, be answering those questions that are just burning in your gut. So let's do that. I look forward to that. So that being said, some of the other changes coming up, I do want to have, a Sunday show that is very open format, just conversations with you guys, and gals. And, obviously to say thank you to everybody who's supported me, and to have conversations with those people, and just have conversations even with my haters, because I think some of those are some of the more fruitful conversations. Anybody who watched my conversation with Mick West knows that Mick West is like the Darth Vader of chemtrails. And I thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with him because we disagree on just about everything. And I think that you can't really grow much if you don't, talk with people that you disagree with. So we got a couple questions real quick. What kind of shady geoengineering is Canada up to? Can't find much content on the Canadian map. Canada has a lot of weather modification as far as geoengineering goes. There's nothing legally that you're going to find documented on geoengineering, because all of the scientific community is going to refer to any kind of geoengineering as accidental geoengineering or inadvertent geoengineering, or what they call inadvertent weather modification. That's part of the problem, Marcus, is that as far as getting validation or credible links or authoritative sources, as the social media oligarchs like to call it, you're not going to get that because of this problem. That, they're in the denial stage. They would never admit that, altering biofuels and jets and putting chemicals in the gas tanks to get certain types of clouds, to have clouds by day and none by night, to have these opinions on how to cool the planet using different types of chemicals and or pollution. That's just hocus pocus. That's all conspiracy theory. We're not, coordinating anything. So that's a tough one. Weather modification, clearly provable. Been going on well over 100 years. You can learn all about that history on weathermodificationhistory.com. I hope that helps out. I will be working on some Canadian stuff. One of my best friends, Dominic Marama, who helped me create, all of the newspaper articles that are on weathermodificationhistory.com. He is from Canada, so he has been sending me a bunch of stuff on that. Twitch, YouTube, and DLive all buffering here. Bummer. Okay, so I did up my bit rate from 2,500 to 5,000 because I was looking at the Twitch stream quality and it looked like crap to me. So we'll have to see about that. So the other question we just had was, have you ever watched Dutch Sense? What are your opinions on his show? From D Fish Eggs. Now, Dutch Sense and I have a long history. There's a lot of people watching who know that history, and we've had our ups and downs, but honestly, I've long since forgiven him for the things that he did to me. And I've always looked forward to the opportunity to work with anyone. So have I watched Dutch Sense lately? Honestly, no. Have I watched very many people at all lately? No. I've been dealing with health issues, and, I think I'm overcoming them really quickly. I will always have love for Dutch Sense. He was one of the original people that got me interested in this topic, especially the topic of HARP. So, I'll always be thankful to him for, getting me interested in this to begin with. And, I'll just leave it at that. Let's just put it this way. Don't hold your breath on Dutch contacting me. He has commented a couple times in the last year on my videos, but, then I go and I say, hey man, no hard feelings. Do you ever want to work together? Just never happens. So, I'll just leave it at that. The bullshit terms they come up with, like Big Pharma came up with the side effect, no such thing. Any effect from something is a direct effect. My wife keeps, Kelly, what was that? Causation doesn't mean, what was the thing you said? Correlation isn't causation. That's straight from the medical field. Correlation isn't causation. So, basically you can't, it's like saying, well, these clouds I'm seeing coming from planes are causing Morgellons or Morgellons. Pick your poison on how you pronounce that. So the thing is, prove it. Prove that the cloud overhead is causing Morgellons. And I go, that's kind of tough. Well, there's so many other factors. It's like saying, well, CO2 is the cause of global warming. I mean, we can even argue about whether global warming is a real thing. Is the globe actually warming? Is this a temporary thing? Are we actually going into a grand solar minimum? How long will this last? There's a lot of questions there. And any honest scientist will go, bro, we don't really have the information to make these kind of determinations. So correlation doesn't equal causation, because you can correlate a lot of things. We are ingrained as humans to find patterns and see patterns and go connect the dots. But there are a lot of dots that we don't see. And that's what I would leave at that, is that it's really a tough one. Who's the best science superhero in this science superhero world? Man. You're killing me now. Now you guys are throwing some tough ones at me. Don't even try that. I mean, I like Svensmark and the Cloud Mystery. I like, there's a couple bold people out there. And I mean, I'm not really going to comment on that. I have people that I, think are interesting. And I think that, a lot of people try to see people as don't even say Bill Nye up in here. Come on. He's not even a scientist. He's as much a scientist as I am. Okay. Let's be real. just you made me giggle though. You funny guy. People tend to see people as either black or white. And I don't mean the color of their skin. I mean good or evil. And I look at people and I go, everybody has good and evil in them. We all have the yin and the yang. And I'll just leave it at that. I don't think there are good people and bad people. There are obviously some evil people, and they're just plain evil. But the difference between a fake science guy and somebody who's truly a science guy is a tough one. I want Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla clearly is a real science guy and a genius. And while I would never compare myself to Nikola Tesla's genius, I am also a very smart guy. And I think the one thing that we both have in common is that we're very passionate about what we do and likely to end up broke and in love with a pigeon. So I don't have a business mind. I never have. And that's been one of my biggest downfalls with ClimateViewer. A lot of these YouTube channels that you see that, have millions of subscribers, they come from affluent families that already had the budget, to help them out. And they went to, college and studied business. So they know how to go out and make those deals to get the, promotions and all of that sort of stuff. I don't think I'll ever be there. So the two things that I need more than anything for ClimateViewer, for this channel, for this brand, is I need somebody who is a good promotions, advertiser, friendly, somebody who's a business manager, and I need a good video editor because, in order for videos to make it to 1 to 10 million views. They need to be short and full of editing. So, your wife is thinking, did he just call me a pigeon? Yeah. Well, I mean, we're pretty rough on each other, you know, with the insults. My wife loves insulting me. So I'm pretty sure she could come up with something way better than pigeon to call me. So I'm not that concerned about that one. Pee Wee Herman for science guy. Yeah, that's, I would watch that. I mean, honestly, I would watch that. And yeah, I'm a huge Tesla fan. I will briefly address the question from Trace FL. Do you agree with Dane Wigington? The answer is no. I have made videos about him in the past, and I have made them all private for a reason, because I don't believe it's building yourself up by tearing someone else down is never the right way to do a thing. And I'm gonna leave it at that I have changed my mindset. What do Dane Wigington and Dutch Sense have in common? That there was a time, and I've told you that I'm confrontational. There was a time that I disagreed with a person so vehemently that I had to try to prove my point by pointing out that what they said here is incorrect, what they said there is incorrect. And I believe that now, in retrospect, because hindsight is always 20/20, that, and it literally is this year, that it's not helpful for me to go out and literally pick apart somebody else's work, somebody else's beliefs, and then try to prove them wrong. I mean, on its face, that is the wrong way to go about doing things. I believe that now, especially more than ever, that if you're putting out a quality product, if you're putting your heart and soul into something, and your truth, you know, resonates with an individual, they know it in their gut. You don't have to convince them. They convince themselves. And I believe that, you know, especially with the latter more than the former, his crowd is very convinced of their own view on the plain fart issue. So, as Carl Sagan would put it, once you believe a bamboozle long enough, it's simply too painful to admit to yourself that you've been had. So you're not going to convince. There are certain people that are unconvincible. And we're seeing that a lot in politics right now, on both sides of the aisle. So you really have to look at it and go, what good is it doing me to tear another person down to get people to believe me? If your argument is strong enough, and if you understand, if you cannot explain a thing simply enough, you don't understand it well enough. And I believe that I've done my homework. I believe anybody that watches, you know, my stuff goes through. Do you have a Gab TV account? Never even heard of it. I'll have to check that out. Let me write that in my notes. Gab TV, check it out. The other one somebody mentioned the other day is Rumble. Gab TV, write that down. And I'll write down Rumble. And of course, as soon as Parler ever makes it back on the internet, we'll be over there. But the point being, I really got to work on this stuff, you know, focusing on my content. And that's why I've literally reworked the majority of weathermodificationhistory.com, because it's literally being cited not only on Wikipedia, but in scientific journals, by government institutions around the world as extremely accurate. And the policymakers are the ones that I really want to, bring effect in, bring change in, bring awareness to, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to affect our lives. Brian, I'll check out your comment in just 1 second. So about 2 years ago, I decided that it was just, Bob, it is fun watching people try to lie and discredit me, because, at first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win like a boss. So bring it on. I'm not exactly worried about, the haters. I've grown some pretty thick skin in 12 years. And to anybody that's, out there thinking they're going to be the next, YouTube, Twitter, whatever it is, wherever you want to stream, if you're going to step into these shoes, you better be ready for hell, and you better have thick skin, because you can only imagine the amount of death threats and other things that you're going to endure. So just keep that in mind. Let me come over here real quick, and I'll just scroll back up through the comments. Goofy weather rolled through northern Illinois last summer. Point being, it set off one of my smoke alarms. Dang. Twice, no hazard found, but odd scent from outside. Second time I scented the odd smell, I guessed it would go off again, and it did. Anybody else feel weather mods set off their smoke detector? Yep, tornado watch day, and there was a violent weather those days. Second one, we had dry sky, crazy lightning, cloud and ground haze. Yeah, and that would be what, they would call inadvertent weather modification. There's a lot of pollution that can change weather in an instant. And this is one of those things in climate change that they don't really want to talk about, is all of the unknown variables that affect local, your local weather. And climate is weather and temperature and all that over a long period of time. Now, if you change the weather in a certain location for long enough, you change the climate. That's why I have the slogan at ClimateViewer, tracking the climate changers, because I fully believe that these climate changers know, that weather modification over a long enough period, especially over a large enough area, can change the local climate. And thus, if you do so for a long time, change the global climate. In fact, if you actually go through the weather modification history timeline, what you'll realize is for 100 years, the goal was to melt the Arctic. And if you Google, I hate saying that word, if you search for the term New Cold War, you'll realize that America and Russia are in a Cold War over drilling rights in the Arctic. I actually have a map on climateviewer.org where they've been fracking the Arctic for quite some time. So this is kind of the oxymoron of the climate change. Hell, we'll use the word retards. Is that while they bitch and moan about climate change and saving the Arctic, they don't want to talk about the fact that they've been fracking the Arctic forever. So that's one of my biggest issues with this. Nobody's really going to talk about this stuff, but I'll bring it up on screen real quick just so you guys can see it. So I'm not full of crap. So as you can see here, we're over on ClimateViewer 3D, and the map is called Fracking Alaska's North Slope. And this is under Energy and Pollution in the History and Science section. So you just click that thing up here, fracking Alaska's North Slope. I'm going to go over here to base map. I'm going to click on Bing satellite, bring up the satellite view of this, just so you guys know I'm not lying. And you can actually zoom in on these things, and you can zoom in on these things. And I think we have clearer shots up here. No, that's not one of them. Where are they at? They're over here. That's the terrible area. And bam, there's your fracking facility in the Arctic. Clear as day. So as you can see, all of these are different fracking wells all over the Arctic. Here's one. It's not even got a dot on it. There's another fracking well. And they're all along here. This is the North Slope of Alaska. As Arctic can get, okay? All the way at the top of the world. And that's been the goal all along. Do you think that's going to change because some people complained a little bit? No, it's not. It's not going to change. Now I'm going to kick my OBS to the wrong screen. I don't see it changing anytime soon. So, anthropomorphic climate change. That's man-made climate change for you right there. Another map that I had done that was very similar was on methane. And what people don't realize is that, you know, methane has like 10 times the greenhouse gas effect of CO2. So what you end up with is if you have a lot of fracking wells, and I mean, if you look at the actual number of fracking wells, it's a lot. Thank God my computer's fast, because that's a huge map. Am I breaking up yet? Everything's still working here? Because this is going to be crazy. I was going to try to bring up this. Here it is. Methane releases and fugitive emissions from drilling. Another map I did. What you'll see is like this. Natural gas, the invisible spill, how much methane is reaching the atmosphere. This is the total S.A. Eglin Field methane leak. And it was an absolute mess. It was up here, you know, next to the UK in the middle of the ocean. Drilling well that leaked methane for quite some time. What most people don't realize is that out here in the Gulf, the BP oil spill, the Deepwater Horizon, did Deepwater methane hydrates cause the BP Gulf explosion? They were drilling, they hit a methane hydrate, methane blew out that drill, burnt a hole in the top of it. If you watched any of the conspiracy channels, of course, they all said that a laser from space burned a hole in the top of that. No, it was actually, my face is right in front of the freaking thing. Anyway, Deepwater Horizon, explosive methane hydrate. Gotta love it. And you can go to map list on this thing and actually see all these by clicking here. NASA confirms a 2,500 square mile cloud of methane floating over U.S. Southwest. Click that. You can see it right here. It's over this coal factory. Absolutely huge coal factory. And if you look right here, that red dot on the map is a methane cloud that's stationary directly over this coal-fired power plant, which is right here near Durango in the Ute Mountain Indian Reservation. And, well, I'm sure the Indian Reservation loves having all these fracking wells, which you can see here by just scrolling in. There's a fracking well. Fracking, is a whole nother video. I don't want to get too deep into this. Obviously, I've got off on a tangent because I love my mapping. It's one of my favorite things that I do. This is all available at ClimateViewer.org, and it is combined in ClimateViewer 3D. You can actually see all the maps individually, or you can overlay them together, which is the purpose of this. So we're currently looking at Alaskan fracking, all the fracking wells in America. And as you can see, it gets pretty thick in here. Pretty darn thick. and you scroll in here and you literally see, I don't even have all of them mapped. I mean, you can see that these ones are mapped, but right next to it are hundreds of thousands of more fracking well. I mean, these are houses, bro. That's somebody's freaking swimming pool right there. And they literally live surrounded by miles and freaking miles of fracking wells. These are the sorts of things that once you see them, you can't unsee them. And it gives a whole new definition to climate change. What do you think the grand total effect of these miles and miles and miles of fracking wells is? These are the questions that keep me up at night and keep me going on ClimateViewer and ClimateViewer 3D and obviously a weather modification history. What's the cumulative effect of all of the fugitive emissions? That's the word for today. Fugitive emissions. Whenever they drill into a fracking well, they compress the ground, and in some cases, up to 60% of those emissions can end up escaping into the air. So up to 60% of the methane that they're getting out of a fracking well goes directly into the sky. And then when you've got literally millions of wells, you tell me. But we'll just focus on, CO2, and it's all your fault, not whose fault it actually is. Not to mention, as somebody just so clearly pointed out, unstable ground goes wonky. Oklahoma has major fracking earthquakes. So there's that. But anyway, so we'll just get on to the last couple things here. I just made a very short list of notes. Literally, this was the whole video. Boy, we've already gone, I don't know, quite a while. I had a timer used to, but it's not showing up anymore. Who knows how long we've been talking? Somebody tell me. 40 minutes, probably. Regardless, blame it on cow farts. You know that one of the geoengineering patents is literally for a plug that goes in the butthole of the cow to filter out the CO2 and methane. You can't make this stuff up. That's how crazy these people are. Don't eat burgers or, enjoy a good steak. I want a porterhouse right now. As a matter of fact, I'm very hungry. Anyway, ruminant fart abatement. Catalytic converters for cow farts. I wish I were making this up. So short videos during the week. I want to try to make some shorter videos. I've been saying this for quite a while, but I'm from South Carolina, damn it. I mean, we're like, every single one of us, we're like tree ants, Anything worth saying is worth taking a very long time to say it. So it's kind of hard for me to just, speak rapidly and make short videos. I apologize for that. But regardless, I do want to try to make it a goal to eventually be able to make like 10 to 12 minute videos during the week where I literally just harp on a single idea and keep it as succinct as possible. And then stick to the longer format where we have these chats and discussions on Sunday. Hopefully with you guys being able to oh God, you guys, I swear, man, this is why I need to be able to do this during the weekend, because I literally could lose myself in the chat. You guys crack me up. I have such an informed crowd of jokesters. Holy crap, that's a lot to read. Brian, you did it again. Do I think that they could deliberately, violently weather flooding of the Americans' breadbasket? Yes. Economic warfare using weather warfare is documented on ClimateViewer, on weathermodificationhistory.com. That has been a goal multiple times by the CIA. They targeted the sugar crops in Cuba to ruin Castro by doing cloud seeding in the Gulf of Mexico in order to rain out all the rain before it got to Cuba. So this is called a rain embargo. Similarly, by creating massive amounts of rain, you could, destroy crops. There's also crop insurance. So these guys literally insure their crops for millions of dollars. The crop insurance guys then pay the weather modification industry to do hail mitigation. And they go out and they cloud seed. And they cloud seed to make the hailstones smaller. But the problem is they really have no freaking clue what's going to happen when they do it. So the circle continues. You get your crop insurance, you pay the insurance people, pay the people to go do the weather modification. The weather modification say, we're going to make sure that the hail isn't large so your crop isn't destroyed. And then, damn it, we got it wrong. There was floods. But there wasn't any big hail. So who gets paid? I don't know. You tell me. Leave me a comment. Let me know. I also want to, I don't know if you guys know this. I've mentioned it probably previously. I'm clearly a graphics artist. I've been doing graphics art and, traditional art since I was a kid. I got my first art scholarship when I was 9. I got my first copy of Photoshop when I was 11. I am 44. I'm pretty much Photoshop, Illustrator, CorelDRAW expert. I've done 3D Studio Max, video game design, all of that. And I've designed well over 50,000 t-shirts at 3 different t-shirt companies. So I think you know where I'm going with this. I do plan on getting some t-shirt designs together and making those available so that I do have a venue other than just donations to bring in some cash for all the work I'm doing. And this is also beneficial because, having my, URL strapped to your chest, you're all walking billboards for my website. And I appreciate all you human billboards that will support my Teespring in the near future. Your work is greatly appreciated. Hopefully we can make these a little outrageous so that maybe even when you're walking around town getting gas or hitting the local Walmart, you smelly Walmart people, that, somebody will stop and ask you about it. Like, what's this weather warfare thing? And what is a climate viewer? That would be great. Maybe it'll be a conversation opener. Might be a conversation closer. You might even get some Karens videoing you on God knows what. But regardless, animated t-shirts. Geez, man, the day we get that, organic LEDs that can, where I can do all kind of animation on it, I probably want to shoot myself. Cause if somebody's shirt ever yells at me, I swear to God, I'm going to lose it. So the last thing, t-shirts coming up. I'm going to be working on some designs for that. I think that'll be epic and I'll enjoy it. Plus we get to, show off some things that I've never been able to. I'm very good at t-shirt design. Can't wait to see what I come up with. Hope you guys will support that and continue to support the channel and all the work I'm doing by either signing up for Patreon and giving a monthly donation or a one-time donation on PayPal or GoFundMe. Those are always greatly appreciated. All of my work, as I said at the beginning of this video, is literally free to use anywhere. Creative Commons, I'm giving it away. So I'm not demanding anybody give anything in return. I simply ask if you can do, and it will be greatly appreciated. So last thing, the elephant in the room, literally, I'm I'm going to say it, and as I say it, there is literally a dude in chat named the elephant in the room. Assault t-shirts. If I make an assault t-shirt, it literally will say attack ideas, not people. Maybe wrong shoulder. Everything's backwards. Something kind of cool up on the shoulder or something. Anyway, attack ideas, not people. Assault ideas, not people. The last thing I've really got a problem with, and I want to just throw this out to you guys. What the hell do I do about this social media stuff? Because it's kind of a double-edged sword. As some of you may notice, I haven't been like tweeting out and Facebooking out when I go live anymore because it literally doesn't matter. I have gone to facebook.com/ClimateViewer. I have seen people share a post. I have logged into my fake Facebook account, hidden myself behind multiple layers of encryption and virtual private networks. And then I log back into Facebook with my fake Facebook account. And then I go to the public post that was shared by another person publicly, and magically, it's gone. I log back into my account. I go back to their page. It's there. So what's really going on is people are sharing my content, and me and the person who shared it, we can see it, but nobody else can. So I first noticed this when literally a post was shared 322 times. And then I noticed that there were no, and I mean 0 reshares. And I said, that is a statistical impossibility. So that's when I started doing my digging. And I noticed that shadow banning is extremely creepy. Marie McLaughlin. I love me some Marie McLaughlin. How you doing, girl? Miss you. We should talk. You should call me. Anyway, so people are sharing this stuff out, and literally the only people that can see it is me and the people who shared it. And they're wondering probably too, why is nobody commenting on this thing that I'm sharing? And that's why, because I've been literally shadow banned for over 4 years. I would say 5 to 6. When we're talking 2012, ClimateViewer.com was averaging 60 to 80, sometimes 100,000 views a day. Today, ClimateViewer.com averages 500 to 1,000 people a day. Until 2 days ago when it hit 62,000 people in one day. And I sat there and went, what in the heck just happened? And then it was halfway through the day yesterday, there was 39,000 hits on ClimateViewer.com. Now, when you're averaging 500 to 1,000 hits a day, and then bam, out of nowhere, you go, well, this is just temporary. Somebody who has a huge following clearly shared it and the censors weren't able to get to it in time. But I just generally avoid, even trying to share my stuff on social media because I believe it just flags that content, to be banned across everybody else. So I constantly consider deleting all the anti-social media. Like deleting my Twitter, deleting my Facebook, deleting Instagram. But then how does that work for me getting my content out there? And I mean, I could rely on, let's say, the newsletter. It's run through MailChimp, which is part of Amazon. Everything comes back to the same damn people. If you had a WordPress site, WordPress is owned by Google. You can't get around anything. Sin Algeria says, Sinalagria says, inside the walnut seed membranes tissues between edible nut, get 30 walnuts and save membranes from 30 walnuts, put it in apple cider vinegar and pure vodka. It's a remedy for hyperthyroidism. Okay. I quit drinking when I was 18. I was a very bad boy, but I did quit drinking. But I do have walnuts every single morning in my smoothie. So, Adam, create more accounts. I mean, bro, you and I both know that I could make bot accounts by the hundreds of thousands. What good would that do? And I mean, you know how much work that would take. Now, you, as one of the people that I know that you are, that you know that I am, that we're not going to discuss because this shit is live, could clearly make some bots to do that. For those who don't know, Adam Spamler, that ain't his name. But anyway, get authorization to proxy their Facebook full history, download and import it into your system, giving superior control over what's available for consumption. Yeah, that's not a thing. I'm not going to do that. Like, at one time, I'd considered making my own social media. It was called Attention, like network, intention, attention, nettention. And we got pretty far on the project, and it is like the internet evolved. And I may revisit that at some point in the future, but it's a totally different, there's nothing like it currently. And it would take me 30 minutes of discussion for you guys to fully understand what an attention could do to the internet and possibly ruin Google, Facebook, and Twitter forever. But maybe I can talk to the Parler guys about it. I don't know. It's my idea. Fuck them. I want it to be open source. So that's not a realistic goal. Anyway, the problem with that is that it always comes back to, if you make it encrypted well enough, if you make it open enough, people will sell children on it. People will plan violent acts on it. And then you're right back into that slippery slope of what do you do about it? So, there's a new app for Truth Community called Foxhole. Check it out. Put it in my notes. Check it out. I like good tips. Tips always lead me to, sometimes some treasure ships. And I appreciate everybody always sending me new stuff. I will always look into it. Cold pressed coconut oil is good for skin problems. We like frankincense. Frankincense is a miracle worker on skin. But yeah, I've still got my scheduled thyroid thing on February 3rd. I'm going to be meeting a new endocrinologist. This will be the third endocrinologist and my first male endocrinologist. I'm pretty sure he's going to say the exact same thing all the other ones say. Chop your thyroid out. And after having Graves' disease since 2009 and defeating it, going off of meds for 3 years, having it recur, dropping down to 126 pounds, I am now a whopping 156 pounds. Oh yeah, boy is back. Got my muscles back. Didn't even work out. It's a little miracle. It's just a hell of a ride. Hyperthyroidism, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So I'm really at the point where surgery is the option, and I'm scared to death of it. So am I in a rush to, clean up all 3 of my websites to make sure that they are permanently the way they need to be before I go into the surgery because I fear death. Maybe there's a little of that. But at the same time, the fear of death is worse than death itself. So I've had people advise me, do the natural route, continue your natural recovery. But we're well past broken on this thyroid. I mean, it literally goes from here all the way down here, all the way down here. Affects how I breathe at night. I wake up with my hands completely numb. And, I've seen the YouTube doctor that talks about eating grapes to shrink your thyroid. I have been able to shrink my thyroid some, but there's only so much you can do. My thyroid is well past broken. And my family has a history of heart attack. We don't die of cancer. We die of heart attacks around the age 50. And my dad has been the first one to make it past 60 in a long time. And he has 5 stents in his heart. I don't want to be that guy. So getting healthy, taking care of my body is going to be a priority. And not stressing about this stuff. Coming on here, having fun, making this fun again. We're going to, make activism fun again. MAFA. So that's what I want to do. I want to make this fun for me again, find my passion again. I have literally been hiding out playing video games, trying to do anything but think about all of the things that I need to do in life. And it's time that I focus on getting those things done. And one of those is probably going to be the surgery. So, while I may appear to have, defeated this thing and come back strong, which I have, I feel stronger than ever. I've gained my weight back. I'm able to do everything I was able to do and then some before I got sick. And yeah, it's all thanks to methimazole and, obviously eating a little better, but I still drink coffee and I've got other issues that I need to work on. I think we all have those issues that just plague us and we do nothing about. Everybody wants to change the world, but nobody wants to change themselves. And you're looking at one of those guys. So am I perfect? No. Do I need to change? Yes. And change is a good thing. Change will always come whether you like it or not. And that's what this video was about today. So to recap, all my videos, Creative Commons, you can have them for free. Do whatever you like. Just please leave a link back to the original. All the websites, I was going to combine them into one. That's pretty stupid. I don't know why I ever set a bar so high that I could never achieve it. So the 3 websites will remain the way they are with some pretty nice modifications to them to simplify them. So ClimateViewer.com, ClimateViewer.org, WeatherModificationHistory.com. They will be there. They will be there for a very long time. Discord, please join my Discord chat. I hope to have, people actually be able to have conversations with people as opposed to me just responding to the live chat. I want to hear your voices. I want to bat ideas off of each other. I think that would be great. So go hit that chat button on ClimateViewer.com. Get signed up for the Discord. If you are if you're a patron on my Patreon, you get a special role on there. There's going to be a lot of new features coming to that. I just met a gentleman who is a Python coder who's going to be hooking up my bots on my Discord. So we're going to come up with all kinds of cool things to do with that. If you'd like to help out in any kind of way, if you're a programmer, if you're, especially if you're a video editor, for God's sakes, if you're a good video editor, holler at your boy, Jim at ClimateViewer.com, Jim at ClimateViewer.com. the name of what I'm taking is methimazole. Methimazole. It's for the thyroid to bat down it basically slows the thyroid down. Short videos during the week. That's what I plan on doing. To give you an idea, just doing a video about Hatfield, how he made rain for LA in the 1916, and just that story, 10 minutes, lots of images, details, fully edited video, that sort of thing. Not this, live spur of the moment kind of thing. I do have a radio voice. I play Call of Duty and people are like, bro, you have a radio voice. And I'm like, I know. Isn't that great? I appreciate it though. The Teespring t-shirts, epic t-shirts, not boring t-shirts that make you awesome, give you big pee-pee. You will be the envy of all the people with the t-shirts around you. Hope to make that really soon. That needs to happen. Of course, then you get into the whole, I got to go get a license and all that stuff to even sell the t-shirts and then report taxes and all that. I am not a business person, so I'll work this out. And social media, we'll leave that for another day. Because obviously, that's working itself out right now. You got Poland literally going to make it illegal with fines up to 15 or 50 million dollars for social media censorship. France, Macron, and Angela Merkel, and all of these countries now coming out hard on Twitter. Twitter losing $3 billion. Ow! For censoring Donald Trump. Whether you love or hate Trump, you should fight for the right of every individual to say things you disagree with. Because at first they came for so-and-so and I did nothing, and then they came for me. So, I'm going to wait and see how this social media thing pans out. I think that, somebody is currently restoring balance to the force, and the Silicon Mafia needs a swift kick in their digital cojones, and I think it's coming soon, despite who's running Washington, because that's how markets work. You hit them in the wallet. So we'll stay tuned. I'm sure I'll have a video about that in the future. No to surgery. Hey, bro. My life to live. And I think that if you endured, 10, 11, 12 years, pretty much since I started doing this, I've had Graves' disease. It sucks. It sucks unbelievably. And yeah, it's much easier to manage hypothyroid than it is hyperthyroid. So, and there are natural ways to do that as well. So, and they don't cause heart attacks. So unless you want me to drop dead of a heart attack one day soon, I'll make the decisions on whether or not to cut my thyroid out, and you guys make the decision whether to like and smash that like button, share this video, keep supporting my channel. I appreciate everybody who subs to the main YouTube channel, because that's where I usually do all my dirt. I will try to click as many things on my Restream IO to put this on as many other options as possible. I saw a lot of people during the stream comment about buffering issues. I did up the bit rate on this video to 5,000 instead of 2,500. So I don't know if it's just overwhelming your bandwidth limitations, or if, because I wanted the quality to be better of the videos, but maybe that's a little too much. Maybe we'll kick it back to 30 frames per second instead of 60. I mean, I can move my hands and look at, how snappy it is. It should be really snappy. I mean, that's the whole point of having a 60 frames per second video. And you're not going to have that if you don't have the bit rate behind it. Anyway, it's math. It's math. It's computers and math. Regardless, I appreciate everybody watching this video. With this information comes power, and with power comes great responsibility. So please use all the information, especially now that I've made it Creative Commons, that you can go out and you can download every single video, back it up on your hard drives, upload it to other places, that you use this information responsibly to attack ideas, not people. I love you, mean it. I appreciate everybody who supported me over the years. And I think 2021 is going to be full of new surprises. Have a great 2021. Don't let anybody get you down. If this video resonates with you, leave me a comment because I love hearing from y'all. First time here, be sure to subscribe and click the bell. The bell doesn't always work, so come to ClimateViewer.com and sign up for our newsletter. Remember, it would be impossible for me to do this without your support, so please join my Patreon or buy me a coffee on PayPal. And always, attack ideas, not people.